Recently, 13 lucky Home Channel viewers won a 20,000 Rand paint renovation by Prominent Paints. In this series, we'll introduce you to the lucky winners and show you how we fix their paint disasters. We'll also give you valuable advice on how you can fix your paint disaster at home. Hi, I'm Sam Marshall and this is Make It Better with Prominent Paints. Today we're at the home of Gerhardt Oosthuizen, who's done a lot of home renovations recently but is unhappy with the exterior walls of his home. Let's go and see how we can make it better. Gerhardt, what went wrong here?
Well, Sam, this is a combination of a lack of knowledge and hiring a contractor that didn't do exactly what he was supposed to do.
Here's what I think is going on. Basically, the old coat and the new coat of paint have stuck together. Really, the issue is a lack of proper preparation. What should have happened is that the first coat should have been stripped off completely and then the primer needed to be put on. And I mean, that's really what the problem is. If you look down about 500 millimeters, you'll see the expansion joint. Now, that is really an area that needs to prevent rising damp. But in your case, the groove is not even deep enough, so it's going to prove to be very ineffective. The other problem that you've also got is that there's no waterproofing between the foundation and the soil. Gerhardt, I promise you, this is an easy fix.
Great news. Thanks, Sam.
Awesome. So what we need to do to fix the problem is strip all the existing paint off the wall to give us a solid surface to work with. We can remove any stubborn areas with a paint scraper. We'll have to remove the soil from against the wall to put a proper waterproofing system in place. We'll then apply a primer to all the surfaces that need paint. Finally, we'll apply 2 coats of Ultra Satin to produce a washable and stain-resistant surface that will protect the home for 10 years. To get this project done, we're going to need a high-pressure water hose with a rotating nozzle, protective goggles for when operating the high-pressure hose, some gloves, a few good quality paint scrapers, P40 grit sandpaper to remove any stubborn paint, enough Prominent Damp Cure, a moisture-tolerant primer to cover the walls, Pro Gold Mineral Turpentine to clean our painting tools, Pro Gold Ready Mix for minor plaster repairs, paintable silicone with a caulking gun to apply it, some masking tape, an angle grinder with a masonry disc and safety goggles, some Prominent Fiber Seal to seal the windowsills, Prominent Ultra Satin for the finishing coat. Right, let's get this show on the road. First of all, we have to completely remove the peeling paint off the walls. To do this, we're going to blast the walls with a high-pressure water hose. The rotating nozzle helps remove the paint quicker while protecting the plaster underneath. Always position the nozzle at an angle to the wall and keep moving it around for best results. Remove any remaining paint with the paint scrapers. As we established with Gerhardt earlier, there was no waterproofing done between the foundation and the soil. So what we've done is we've stripped the area underneath the horizontal line back to the bare plaster in order to be able to apply damp cure. As you can see next to me, we've also gotten rid of the sand all the way down to the foundation because that's important to apply the damp cure. What we're going to do next though is to open up this horizontal joint. We're going to put in a damp cure and a joint sealer because it's important that the moisture doesn't rise above this level. To open up the horizontal joint, take an angle grinder with a diamond disc to cut away the plaster down to the brickwork. Okay, so we've opened up the cracks to make sure that the damp cure really gets in here. We're going to apply it above the horizontal joint. You'll be able to get 4 to 5 square meters per liter. Apply medium pressure in an N shape and then make sure you allow it to cure overnight. Okay, now that the damp cure is nice and dry, we can move on and fix the minor plaster imperfections. Take your Pro Gold Ready Mix filler and fill in any cracks or holes in the wall. Allow them to dry and then sand smooth. After that, spot prime any exposed filler and allow 8 hours curing time. We can now move to the area below the joint line. Before we apply the primer, we have to make sure that the moisture level is less than 40%. The prominent damp cure we are going to use can deal with a 40% moisture level, and it needs to be applied directly to the plaster. The process is the same as before. Apply the primer with a brush and roller, fill in any cracks and imperfections, allow to dry, sand down, and then apply a second coat of damp cure. This will need 24 hours curing time. Our next step is to waterproof below the soil level to prevent water uptake by the plaster from the soil. For this, we'll apply 3 coats of prominent black bitumen with about 4 to 6 hours curing time between coats. Apply to about 3 inches above the soil level height. Once it's dried, replace the soil and level everything out. Spot prime the exposed bitumen above the soil line with a brush coat of fiber seal to prevent bleeding through of the black bitumen and allow to dry. Now we need to seal the horizontal joint. First, mask the sides of the joint with your masking tape in straight lines to protect the sides of the joint from joint sealer contamination. Fill the joint with a sealer in 1 meter sections using a paint scraper to force the sealer into the joint to prevent air pockets behind the joint sealer. It's finally time for our final step, and that's applying the final coat. Now what we're going to do is use 2 coats of prominent Ultra Satin at 7 square meters per liter. Make sure that you pre-wash your brushes and rollers to remove all dust for the best finishes. Try to avoid painting if you suspect it's going to rain in the next 4 hours. And always apply 2 coats as per manufacturer's recommendations. It may look good after the first one, but it won't last as long as it should. Gerhardt, what do you think?
Wow, Sam, it looks amazing.
And because we sorted out the damp problem for you, you're not going to see the issues you had before. They're not going to return.
That's great news. We don't want to go through this process again.
Now remember, before you tackle a project of this scale, do your homework. Find out the processes and the products you're going to need before you start any work. And please don't go for the cheap one, especially if you don't know it and you don't trust the brand. Because if it looks too good to be true, it is. From me and the team, bye-bye.